So this is a brief video log on, mainstream news, governments, etc. You know how they're trying to make us out to be the conspiracy movement, the truth movement. They're trying to make us out to be fearmongers or over-exaggerating what we're talking about this new world order, about false flag, inside job, terrorist attacks and things. The thing is, as I said, it's far from fear-mongering, and it's far from over-exaggeration. What these governments are doing, who are owned by the bankers, where the bankers run the land, is they're basically trying to keep it calm and cool and make people like me and anyone else part of the truth movement look like we're over-exaggerating, as if we're just, going over the top about this new world order and what they're planning to do. It's far from the truth, as I said. If you watch Ripple Effect 77 on YouTube, that's about 7/7 2005 London bombings. If you watch that, you'll see the serious and scary side to it, to say that no, we're not exaggerating, neither am I. If you watch Autonomy of a Great Deception 9/11 on YouTube, another decent documentary on 9/11, you'll see that was an inside job, the evil behind that. And you see that people like me aren't over-exaggerating. We're basically telling the truth, and we're basically showing people the serious side to it. Therefore, we're not fear-mongering, we're not over-exaggerating, trying to make it sound scary and over the top. It's not over the top as trying to sound scary. We're just being truthful. If you want to just keep to one side and only believe the news, as I said, when it comes to listening, when you're in a court case, you listen to both sides of the story before making your final judgment, judge and jury. So why don't you, as the public, ever listen to the conspiracy side and the news, compare which ones make more sense, whether Inside Job, 7/7 Ripple Effect, Autonomy of a Great Deception, both on my channel Agency of Truth and Justice, make more sense than the official story of 7/7 and 9/11. If you just want to stick to one side and not even give it a chance from listening to the conspiracy truth movement, then you're just going to continuously hear and believe one side of the story. And there's a lot more going on behind it than you realise. So, people like me with Agency of Truth and Justice, as I'm the owner, I just basically do my research, and this is what I found out. I used to be like you, the general public. I used to believe the mainstream news. I used to think the conspiracy world was a load of crap. It was like a load of tin hat nutters. But I learned from my research that it's far from that, and there's a serious side going on. If you look on my Agency of Truth and Justice YouTube channel, there's a video that shows the proof for a new world order. These leaders, basically Tony Blair, George Brown, Bill Clinton, John Kerry, Henry Kissinger, etc., they're all talking about plans for a new world order.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
But it has different characteristics in different parts.
A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
During the conflict with Saddam Hussein, which he handled so superbly in a short-term sense, but he kept talking about a new world order. And then President Bush, at the end of that war, promised he would give 4 graduation addresses, 4 commencement addresses, describing that new world order and what America's role was going to be in it. Turned out he gave one of those addresses and canceled the other 3 and talked about something else. That's because they weren't ready yet.
I strongly believe India will be a central actor in the new world order.
And this present window of opportunity, during which a truly peaceful and interdependent world order might be built, will not be here for too long. Already there are powerful forces at work that threaten to destroy all of our hopes and efforts to erect an enduring structure of global cooperation.
Are you optimistic a global system can happen from what we've heard so far?
It could happen, and in fact it's in the works.
This is a slow road to the new world order, and as I said, 9/11 was that road to the new world order. Inside job, Madrid inside job, 7/7 inside job. I guarantee if the Ripple Effect and 9/11 show there were inside jobs, if you actually give those videos a chance, it means every single one up until to Manchester, UK has been an inside job. And you've got to take that into serious account as the British public, the American public, the public of the world. Because this New World Order, it isn't fear-mongering and it isn't over-exaggeration. There's something very, very evil and twisted behind it. And if you see that 7/7 and 9/11 were inside jobs and the rest of them up to Manchester, basically plotted by the government to lead this world to the road to the New World Order, where civilians were murdered and killed, you realise that how evil the New World Order must be. You know, some people are saying, well, what would be the problem with a New World Order, a one world government and world army? I didn't see the sinisterness behind it. You know, there'll be no more wars. But you've got to take into account these things were most likely inside jobs. And that's what you've got to remember. So I'll keep it below 5 minutes. And like I said, check out my Agency of Truth and Justice YouTube channel. 7/7 Ripple Effect is on there. Autonomy of a Great Deception 9/11 is on there. A video showing the leaders, there's proof for a New World Order. There's lots of research on there. So all I'll say to the public is to do your research. As I said, listen to both sides of the story. Mainstream corporate news and even what the government tells you. Because like I said, years ago I was like you. You know, I used to listen to the mainstream news. As I said, I used to shun the conspiracy world. But I watched the Autonomy of a Great Deception on 9/11, and that was basically the video that woke me up. I had so much what made sense compared to what the official story said. And that's where my path of being a conspiracy tin hat nut, or whatever you want to call me, has started. Basically a researcher who no longer believes the corporate owned news. I've learned a lot of what I learned. The 7/7 most likely be an inside job, as what the official story says doesn't make sense, as much as it has lots of holes in the story of the supposed truth, and loads of other things, the New World Order, etc. But all I can tell you now is what's going on is more sinister than you imagine with this New World Order stuff. Even if you've woke up and you know about this New World Order in the plan, like I said, I'm not fear-mongering through my page. Anybody else on the truth movement, conspiracy movement, isn't fear-mongering. We're just seeing the world how it is. And like I said, the governments who are still shunning what we've researched and saying it's make-believe, even though we've got backup and sources to what we show, they're the same people who basically will say we're fear-mongering or we're over-exaggerating, and we're not. All I can tell you now is this New World Order, it sounds very serious and sounds very evil. Depopulation is part of it, and it's basically killing off people to cut down the size of the population of 7 billion now people in the world. There's a lot of serious stuff behind it, and as I said, it's always down to you. I don't force things on people, but I would suggest you know, looking at the 9/11 videos and looking at the 7/7 video Ripple Effect, look at both sides of the story, then afterwards make your judgment which makes more sense. What you were told via the news and government on 7/7, 9/11, two videos that have backup to them, or what you will watch on 7/7 Ripple Effect and 9/11 Autonomy of a Great Deception. As I said, they're both on my YouTube channel, Agency of Truth and Justice. But there's so much stuff that you as the general public don't know, and this is what my page is there for. It's not for other people like me, even though they're the people who like it. It's just spread so I can spread information, so it goes on the news feeds of people who are already awake. But the people who are still asleep, like yourselves, as the public see it, you do your research from what I've shown you, or look at the information I've shared, and then it potentially wakes you up, because I'm trying to wake up everyone across this global population to show the seriousness of this pre-planned New World Order. These attacks most likely being a false flag operation, or being allowed to happen for political agenda on the road to this New World Order. And all I can say now is, after this World War III, like I said, they'll use the big problem reaction solution paradigm to say that the big problems were 9/11, Madrid 7/7, Paris, Sydney, Manchester latest, all of these attacks, and then we had this World War III, and this is their pre-planned solution will be, we need some kind of change in the world, and they'll come onto this on national TV everywhere saying we have a plan for a new world order, a one world government, one world army, so there's no more, you know, no more terrorist attacks, there's no more wars. But like I said, if it's all pre-planned, it's going to have an evil plot to it. And like I said, it's for a world capitalist ran, banker ran world, or richly elite people plan to basically own the full economic system of the world. The only countries so far that still don't have those bankers owned, like the Rothschild, etc., owning them, is Russia, China and North Korea. And ironically, they're the countries that have been close to war. North Korea is still close to war, and the road to this World War III, which is what it will be. So I do hope that you do look at the other side to the story as the general public before making your final judgment. And I'll leave it there. Cheers.